do as he sees fit, but he uses the information to help form his decision, I'm sure.
Does everybody have an opportunity at probation?
Not everybody. Not if it's a mandatory sentence, then they may not. They might go to prison directly.
I see. What are some of your biggest challenges that either as your position as chief probation officer or even those folks that work under you as your probation officers? What do you see as the biggest challenge of the job?
I think we have a few challenges. One is always trying to work within limited resources. The caseload sizes are very large. The responsibilities are frequent, frequent and many, because the officers will go out in the field. We do field visits to their houses or to their employer, maybe to the drug treatment centers. We go out with the local police departments at times. Then, the probationers come to the department and report on a weekly basis, most of them.
Once a week they have to come?
Some of them, but every week we are seeing, my department sees people at least 3 to 4 times a week.
And again, you said this earlier, but to put it in perspective at this point of the show, how many probationers at any one time do we have in Medina? About
700 plus.
Wow.
Yeah, give or take.
A much bigger number than I think I ever realized.
Yes, and that's if you don't count the pre-sentence reports. So we may see an additional 400 prior to sentencing. We do about 400 pre-sentence reports a year. And then we also see probably a couple hundred people that are on bond prior to sentencing. So my department has about 1,000 individuals that will come through.
Supervising. Your total department is made up, how many people are we talking about?
13.
13.
Yeah.
Well, you got your work cut out for you, don't you?
Yes,
13
we do.
People, keeping track of that many people. When a person is on probation, Veronica, I think we all know, or we all have a general understanding, you're going to have to behave yourself, so to speak. But what are some of the things that he or she would be expected to do or not do when you're on probation?
Well, we have about 20 plus general rules of the probation department that when the probationer comes in to see us for the very first time, we will review those rules with them. And they're some general rules. That they're not allowed to travel out of state without our permission. They're not allowed to have any police contact without reporting it to us. Things of that nature. They're not allowed to change their address prior to informing us of their address change. But then in addition to all of our general rules, the judges will add specific orders to that. So,
like what would be an example of a judge might want?
At sentencing time, the judge may say, I want you to receive a drug assessment and follow all the recommendations of the treatment professionals.
I see.
Or he may say, I want you to repay the restitution to the victim. So if you owe the victim money, we want that repaid. He may say, I want you to submit to regular drug testing in the probation department. So we enforce all of the judge's conditions and make sure that those are complied with.
I guess I'm starting to see how it's starting to come together now. I mean, when you folks put together a pre-sentence investigation, there's a lot of, obviously the judges see a lot of people, but when it comes to sentencing time, they're certainly focused on the person standing in front of them. That pre-sentence investigation is going to tell the judge, we have a drug problem here or something of that nature. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll have the entire drug history in there if they have been to treatment before. We'll get the treatment records. We'll have a mental health history in there. If they have mental illness, we'll get all the medical records for that.
I see.
And then we also have resources in the community that we collaborate with different agencies. So we'll touch base with them and get suggestions from them, and we'll include all of that in the report.
Veronica, of these 700 plus people that you're looking after or supervising, can you tell our viewers about how long the average probationer, is there about an average time? I know they all change, but I mean...
There is, John. The Ohio Revised Code statute actually says that they can be placed on anywhere from 6 months up to 5 years of probation.
I see.
So oftentimes if they comply with all of their conditions of the court and they don't have any new violations, we may ask the court after the halfway point, after they've served half of their sentence with us, we may ask the court if they would consider early termination.
Oh, okay.
Kind of a reward. So if you comply with all of your conditions and...
Well, sure,
right,
sure,
right.
sure. It's obviously been 20 years that you've been doing this. Has been, obviously a pretty interesting job, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
And, hopefully been rewarding at times. For young people looking for a career opportunity, I know my son is a social worker. I mean, it would be a pretty good example. Does the department offer an opportunity for internships?
We do, absolutely. We're very supportive of internships. And I teach at Baldwin-Wallace, as you mentioned earlier, so we collaborate with them often and we'll place interns from Baldwin-Wallace. Currently we have an intern from Kent State. We've had Bowling Green, Akron University. So we're more than happy to place interns with us and give a student an opportunity to really explore hands-on what the field would be like.
I see. That would be a great opportunity. I mean, because I don't know if you're going to get the feel for this reading about it in books.
Probably not.
What are some of the specialized programs that might interest our viewers?
Well, I touched on a little bit earlier that we have a ride-along program which we had started maybe about 5 years ago. It's called Project Safe Neighborhoods, and we will collaborate with the Medina County Sheriff's Department, and also we go out in the field with Wadsworth Police and Brunswick Police and the Medina City Police, and we make home visits. So this is in the evenings and sometimes on the weekends. So we will go to the offender's house and just check in on them, make sure that the community sees that we collaborate with the police department and we're a force in the community and we're present.